Hello, this is Brian from Backyard Groceries, and I'm in my community garden on October the 8th, 2014, and I was just showing you some of the things I've been pulling up. I've been working on the leeks and the multicolored heirloom carrots. So what I did was I interplanted a strip of carrots and then a strip of leeks, and then out here we have beets and actually celeriac. So we'll try and get to that, as well as some of the nasturtiums in the background, and see what we have for the leeks. So this is probably one of my better leeks this year. Being hit by the onion fly. The onion fly maggot is a small housefly looking fly that will lay its eggs anywhere on the stem. Its little maggots will tunnel in to the stem or the bulb of the onion and start to make it rot from the inside out. That's a nice looking leek. Add it to my pile. So for carrots, let's grab a handful here. Lots of different types of carrots, all different shapes and sizes. I see a big one over here. Let's try and get that one. Oh, see, sometimes carrots don't grow the way we think they will. On top it looks big, but on the bottom it actually is stumpy. And this carrot's got something interesting on it. It's actually, I found some slug eggs. See those clear, round, it looks kind of like a silica pack. The things that keep shoes dry in technology. They're actually nestled up in the crook of the carrot, so a slug's been making its home there. Now mother slugs, what slugs like to do is they lay a whole bunch of eggs and then come back and they put that slimy layer of goo all over their eggs to actually inhibit them germinating. So if you kill the mother and you don't be very, I guess, continuous with keeping up with the babies, you're gonna make 100 different slugs for that one mother you killed. So it's always suggested when you try and tackle a slug problem in your garden, take at least 3 weeks to do it. At night with a flashlight or beer traps, something like that. Hand picking is always the most organic way, and then beer traps, got nothing wrong with that. One more carrot. An interesting fact about carrots is that the tops are actually edible. And I sometimes like to make a juice if I'm using my juicer or a blender and then a cheesecloth. Try and get some of that extra protein and nutrients that are in the carrot tops into my body. Otherwise, I just like to add the carrots as a mulch. In the fall, drop it down, add it to the compost. Now I'm putting it here because the city's actually going to be tilling for me. So I'll just be lazy and, you know, take advantage of what they're doing. One of the things that can go wrong with carrots, tip number 2, is that the top can turn green. So you got a green top that's actually bitter because of the plant alkaloids that have built up in the carrot over time. Now why that happens is because it's exposed to sun or some bit of light. So proper depth placing of your carrots is important. Oh my gosh, look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Should have entered that in the Markham Fair. Now, here's a carrot. We're all familiar with carrots that look funny. I like this one. I think I'm gonna name him Rupert. Rupert the carrot. Maybe I'll show some kids. Tip number 3 about carrots. This is somewhat of what I was talking about by hairy root. So when you give a carrot too much nitrogen to grow in and too much fertilizer, it sends out its little roots everywhere, and instead of being a taproot system, it's turned into somewhat of a fibrous root system and goes sideways. Now this actual carrot I'm a little bit worried about because the seed, carrot seed is a very fickle thing to actually to create and to save seed from, because if you have any Queen Anne's lace, which is a wild weed which has a flower like this in the area, it will cross-pollinate with your heirloom carrots when they're going to flower the second year. So I planted some purple I think it's purple haze carrot or purple dragon carrot, and this doesn't look quite purple. It's kind of a pink. So this seed might have crossed with heirloom, or sorry, with Queen Anne's lace or poison hemlock, which is even worse. So poison hemlock, if this was partly poison hemlock, I have no intention of going out like Socrates and dying from drinking poison hemlock. So when in doubt with a carrot that's whiter than it should be or hairier, could be poison hemlock, because poison hemlock has the tendency to branch out with its roots. Okay, so this one is going in the garbage. Oh well. Maybe next video I'll talk about that guy, Celeriac. Just to give you some scale. Beautiful. And I'm continuing to get through my carrots, but in the meantime, as I'm pulling these beautifully colored carrots, I would just like to tell you about what you're looking at. So what you're looking at is some bull's blood carrot or beets, which are known for the beautiful bright red foliage that is actually edible and high in magnesium of the beet. And in the foreground, or rather those two bulbous looking things, any guesses? It's got a leaf that looks like parsley or celery, but it's not parsley and it's not celery. So that's actually called celeriac, and celeriac is a cousin of celery. And what it does, it actually puts its energy in the root, not in the stems or in the foliage, but in the root of the plant. And that taste is a beautiful, mild, crispy celery taste, which is used in stews, casseroles, salads if you grate it. It's just a beautiful flavor, which the French have actually got accustomed to. The French have very nice taste buds around creamy things, rich foods, and celery-based plants, actually. I did another cooking with something called a cardoon, which I might show you in the next video. Okay, so this is celeriac. Its growing requirements, you don't actually want to earth it up. You're not earthing it up like you might its cousin celery. You actually want to encourage the root to get bigger, so sometimes people take a little bit of earth away from the bulb when hoeing. It's a medium feeder, I believe, and it might actually be a light feeder, so it's pretty easy and pretty happy growing. I haven't had any problems, and just like celery, the pests are minimal. There are a few things that attack celery, but as long as you interplant them and you didn't grow it last year, you're probably got a safe bet if you want to grow some celeriac. It takes a long time. Growing season is about 100 days, so plant it with your leeks, plant it with your slow growing vegetables like Brussels sprouts. Would be an awesome idea. Okay, so this is Brian from Backyard Groceries, and till next time, keep growing funky vegetables that excite you and your family, and develop good eating habits amongst your children. That's a good tomatillo. Crisp and cold, kind of like the weather. Welcome to Canada, eh?